If you get grumpy or angry at your missus or kids and you can see that it's starting to affect them, I want you to try this. I think this video is going to be really, really helpful for you. I used to be that guy. I used to be really grumpy. I used to have a short fuse. I used to be angry. And it doesn't make sense for a lot of people who know me because on the outside, a lot of time they thought I was just, super relaxed, super chilled out. But fuck, I tell you what, I've had some fights with Soph, and pretty much all of them have been my fault, and I could have prevented or fixed literally every single one of them if I knew this, what I'm about to tell you right now. And that's why I want to share this with you, because I think this is going to be really, really helpful for not just for you, but also for your family too. And by the way, if you're watching this live, please make sure to comment live down in the comment section, or if you're watching this as a replay, just comment replay, okay? Now, when it comes to getting angry at your kids or your partner and stuff like that, let's be honest, we all do it. Every now and then we do lose our shit. Every now and then things just bottle over, and it almost feels like there's nothing that we can do about it. And I felt that way. I remember one day, like after having a massive argument with Soph, saying, well, this is how I am. This is just me. Like, this is what it is. Like it or lump it, love it or leave it. And that's bullshit. Because the thing is that you're not an angry person. I'm not an angry person. We're not grumpy people. That's not how we are. I don't believe that any man ever has to be this way at all. And we might try and take it on and say that we're just fiery or we're really passionate or whatever it is. But in the end of the day, it's a cop-out and it's bullshit. And whenever we try and justify it and say that somebody else has to accept it, it's just not good enough and it's simply not acceptable. I'm not here to be patronizing to you. I'm not here to talk down to you. I'm talking to myself as much as what I am talking to you, if that makes sense, because I've been there. There are many, many times where, like with Soph, I remember thinking, fuck, why was I such a dick to her just then? Why did I need to do that? Why did I need to swear? Why did I need to raise my voice? Why did I need to be unpleasant? Why did I need to be so harsh, so judgmental? Why did I need to make her end up in tears? And there are a lot of times where all that happened, and pretty much for me, it was very, very deep-seated. See, even from the time when I was very young, I was always quite angry. Even at school, like I was quite angry. When I was a kid, I was always very serious. And there was a whole heap of different things which led to this occurring. And it was as soon as I understood and uncovered what it was that was causing this anger, that was the only time when I could actually fix it. See, the thing is, when it comes to anger, a lot of the time men are told, oh, you're just toxic. We're labeled all this bullshit. You're just toxic masculinity. This word fucking toxic gets thrown around all the time. And all these negative things like you're aggressive, you're mean, you're angry. Straight up, anyone who labels you doesn't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. No idea whatsoever. Because it's none of those things. You are not angry. You are not toxic. You are not horrible. You are not evil. You're just a bloke who's trying to do his best, but doesn't quite know how to present himself in the way that he wants to be presented. That's the first thing that I want you to remember. You are not a bad person. You are not evil. You are not toxic. You are not broken. There is nothing like that. Get rid of any of those sorts of thoughts. Fuck each and every single one of those off. The next thing after that we need to look at is we need to accept ownership of this. If we're going to fix this, if we don't want our kids to be in tears, if we don't want our kids to have low self-esteem, if we don't want our partners to be afraid of us, afraid to bring up certain topics with us, if we want to be able to have open and honest communication all the time, then we need to own our shit and understand where we are right now, and when we have problems, then we need to actually fix it. A lot of the time we'll just go through and we'll try and brush it off under the carpet. It'll be right, she'll get over it. The kids don't mind that much. See, they're fine, they're still doing all right. Whenever we do that sort of stuff and we minimize the severity of what we're dealing with, and let's be honest, being grumpy, being angry has serious repercussions. I think we've all probably had a relative, a father, a mother, or someone in our life who has been angry or grumpy towards us. And we look at the sort of effect that that's had on us, and it's had plenty of massive effects. I mean, I look at what it's had on me, on my siblings, on my friends. I look at every single person has had some sort of negative impact. If we try and brush this under the carpet and say, oh yeah, they'll be fine, we are consciously making the lives of our kids and the lives of our partners worse. And I don't think anybody ever wants that. I don't think any man would ever stand up and say, you know what? I want my kids to have lower self-esteem. You know what? I want my son to be wetting the bed till he's 10. because he's got so much fear and so much worry. You know what? I want my missus to be timid and not able to speak her mind in front of me because she's scared. I don't think anyone ever wants to be like that truly deep down, right? Truly deep down. I don't think anyone wants to. And so what we need to do is just acknowledge that, hey, I got a problem. I get grumpy. I get angry. Now, what the fuck do I do about it, right? And we go, instead of just going and sweeping it under the rug, she'll be right, it'll be fine. Fuck that off. Those words are bullshit. That's a weak man talking right there. A strong man will understand that he has a problem and it's something that he's going to fix, and he's actually willing to face it. And then the third part of this is, well, what do we actually do to fix it? Where does this anger come from? Now, if we look at anger as an emotion, it's a really, really strange emotion, because anger actually doesn't come from anger. Anger comes from sadness, it comes from hurt. And whenever we're carrying sadness, or whenever we're carrying hurt, that's when this anger comes up. And so what we need to look at is we need to look into the nervous system, because it always lies in the nervous system. That is where the solution to absolutely everything is. See, our anger is generally characterized by an increase in cortisol and an increase in adrenaline. These are two stress hormones. When our body is under attack or when we're under threat, we surge in these hormones. That's why when you have a coffee, sometimes you can be more irritable. You smash too many Red Bulls, you can be like that too. You can get more frustrated. You can get these negative emotions coming up. And that's what's happening, right? We're getting an increase in these hormones. So what can we do to fix these hormones and bring them back down? Because have you ever been on holidays before? You know, when you're just kicking back and you're relaxing and you're in the sun, maybe you're smashing a beer or two, having heaps of food, loads of sex, life's really, really good. Ever been angry when you're like that? The chances are you probably haven't. When you're relaxed, when you're cool and you're calm and collected, everything's groovy. Everything's really, really good. But as soon as stress starts ramping up, you've got bills, you've got mortgages, you've got pressure, you've got kids asking you to do heaps of things, you've got soccer training, you've got work, you've got a wife you've got to look after, you've got friends you've got to look after, you've got jobs to do around the house, shit's falling apart left, right and center, and you're constantly putting out fires all the time. Yeah, it gets stressful, totally. So what are you doing to dissipate that stress? What are you doing to deal with that stress? Because here's one thing that's for certain, and you guys don't need me to tell you this, but I'll say it anyway. Life's going to be stressful. Shit's going to come up. Things are going to happen. Literally, shit happens in life. And there's always going to be something that you need to overcome. There's always going to be something itching at you, picking at you, demanding your attention, and you're constantly totally at rest. It's just simply never going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are able to thrive in stressful situations. It's not about reducing our stress, it's about improving our response to stress. And when we can improve our response to stress, our adrenaline comes down, our cortisol comes down, and our anger comes down. And if you can do this day in, day out, I guarantee it works. Why? Because this is what I had to do so that I wasn't always going to be a grumpy old bastard, so that I wasn't going to be angry dad. I love Layla, my little daughter, more than life itself. I love Soph, my wife, more than life itself. They're amazing. I'm so blessed to have both of them. And there's no fucking way that I was going to be an angry, grumpy prick to them, because that would break my heart. To see the negative effect that I had on their life and carrying that weight on my shoulder, that'd be fucking crushing. So I knew I had to change. And the way I changed is not by reducing the stress in my life, but improving my response to stress. Now we have a training which is a little bit longer than this. So I have to jump off. I've got to go help out my wife for dinner. But I've got a training which is a little bit longer than this, which is going to go into a little bit more depth. If you would like to improve your response to stress, then you need to have this training, because it's going to teach you exactly what you need to do. It takes roughly 13 minutes or so, right? And it's just a video which is going to give you a series of action steps which will tell you exactly what you need to do, okay? So if you would like to learn about this, right? If you would like to have this response, learn how to control your stress response, learn to control your anger, all I want you to do is just comment down below, is just comment stress response, right? That's all I want you to do. And then what I'll do is I'll send you across access, which will go into way more depth with a series of really easy action steps, which you can use to absolutely dominate this, okay? It's been proven, tried and tested. I've done it myself. We've done it on literally thousands of guys. You will have seen some of them will be live on, who will be here on live right now. We've done this on thousands of guys, and it's going to be really super helpful for you. On that note, guys, I'll leave you all to it. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I hope it helps. Just comment stress response down below if you want access.